Are you going to be coming to games this
We
year?
are. We're coming to every home series, weekend home series. So, and then we're not sure on away one yet. We have another grandbaby due in April, so we're kind of on the fence waiting for that to happen, and then we'll pick some away games to go to also
Are you going to be there for this opening weekend that they have in
in Dallas.
Dallas?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, we'll be there. We're
How,
so excited.
I was about to say, how excited are you to
Oh,
finally
so
get things
excited.
going?
Yes, it's been a long time off. That's for sure. I mean, the first time, I've had kids playing baseball for 30 years.
Mhm.
So, it was the first time not to have a baseball season. It was a little odd.
Yeah. It's like it's been such a long time since they actually played. I mean, last season with it all getting cut short, it just feels like it's been forever. I can only imagine dealing
Right.
with all
Yeah.
of it personally.
It really has. It really has. And we're super excited to see him back on the
Yeah.
field.
Uh,
Yeah.
s- so what was it like with Casey back at home with you after the season was cut short?
Well, it's kind of bittersweet, of course. I wish he could be home all the time and
Mhm.
stuff, but it was actually for Casey, it was okay because his brothers were also home. They're coaching and so they were home. And so the three of them were just every day working out and doing stuff. So he really didn't miss a beat except for game action, which that's hard to beat. But it was nice, but it was just very odd to have him home that time of year, to have any of them home. I'm so
Yeah.
used to the goodbyes in February and, see you September. So it was weird, but as a mother, of course, I loved it.
Well, you guys also went through a lot with the draft and everything.
Right.
What was that process like for Casey and your family trying to decide kind of what to do there?
Well, I mean, the draft this year, first of all, as a parent, it's the fifth time I've been through it,
Mhm.
and some go better than others, and we have a good grasp on the business side of it. Obviously, the heartstrings were pulled a little bit. I do think, though, the way the season ended, Casey's heart was still in Fayetteville, and there was a lot of unfinished business with Fayetteville. And they went and made a bunch of changes and a bunch of roster moves for in that catcher's position. But I think what helped Casey is that, like, a couple days before the draft, Coach Van Horn called him and just reassured him that if it didn't go the way he wanted it to go, he was welcome back with open arms. And so I think when the calls came in and the offers were made, they just wasn't enough to sway him away from being a Razorback one more time.
As his mom, I'm sure obviously you want the best for him, but were you kind of
Right.
leaning one way or the other?
Well, I obviously lean towards going back and being a Razorback because college baseball is so much more fun. And just, as a parent, as a player, it's just a completely different than the professional ranks. But the other side is this is his lifelong dream. And so it kind of felt like dreams were being crushed and that kind of stuff. But he knew he just came back and worked harder and got smarter and he's ready to go. It's still the goal. It's still his plan, but he's got some business to take care of first.
So, what are your hopes for him this season?
For this season, I hope that he continues to do what he's been doing. He works so hard and he contributes so much that doesn't show up in stats and that kind of stuff. And I just hope he keeps doing that because it's who he is. He's a true leader. He loves his teammates. And this is the time of his life. He'll look back on it and think this is the time of his life. So I just hope to continue and, of course, injury free.
Always hope that it's injury
Always,
free.
always, always. Yes.
Well, you brought up him being a leader, and I think that's pretty apparent to everyone. He's been voted a team captain. Where did that kind of stem from? Where did he get that quality?
I think some of it comes from the position. It definitely comes from his brothers and just the mental focus of the ins and outs of the games. And it's not just hitting and catching and stuff like that. He knows what pitches to call when and that kind of stuff. So that's definitely come from his brothers as far as how to be a leader on the field. And the biggest thing is just to lead by example. I mean, he would never expect anybody else to do something he's not expecting himself to do. So it's kind of hard as to, pinpoint exactly where it came from. It was definitely a learned trait. He's an outgoing kid. He's very much spotlight kind of kid. So it actually just kind of came along a lot naturally to him. But the learning process is what's really put him out in front as far as being a leader.
How does it feel for you knowing that he's a team captain this year?
It's fantastic. To me, the biggest preseason honor you can get is to be voted a team captain by your teammates. So, everything else that is going on is secondary to that, and he takes it very seriously. And it's super proud moment.
Yeah.
Super proud.
One of the things he said this last time that we actually got to talk with him that really stood out, you talk about the preseason stuff, and he's been slightly overlooked in my opinion. And he said, you don't get a preseason national championship, which I think is a a great mentality to have. But obviously it's got to rub you a little the wrong way that he's still not getting some of the attention he probably deserves.
It really doesn't because we kind of know in the grand scheme of things where those all fit
Yeah.
in. The first team all C or SEC is
Mhm.
huge because that's voted on by people that actually watch him play.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge honor. And we're so excited for all the kids that get those honors because it does kind of put you on the map and stuff. But with that, it also kind of brings a little bit of pressure. So I think as far as Casey, it's like he's going to go do his thing. And, I think he'll stand out and be noticed no matter what tagline is on him going into the season. And after that interview, I told him I want that t shirt. They don't hand out preseason national championships. You got to do it on the field. So it was just a perfect answer to the question. And
Yeah.
it's honestly just how he feels. He's
Mhm.
just ready to get to work. And all of that stuff is what it is. And he knows where that all falls in line down the road.
Hey, if you get that t-shirt, you gotta let me know.
I'll send you one.
um, And then has he talked to you at all about, like, what the team is like this year and some of the new precautions that they're having to take?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a lot more in depth than I think what you realize as far as seating charts and
Mhm.
who, because catchers can't sit together, starting pitchers can't be, so
Yeah.
I think I don't know who's doing it, whether it's the director of baseball operations or whoever's got to come up with that, but that's probably the biggest job this year. But
Yeah.
he's super excited about the team. The young kids, he said, they're just shining, and the pitching depth is huge, which he loves. And the defensive positions are just rock solid. So he's super excited about this team. And we honestly feels like there's a reason why he came back. And that reason is to play in Omaha this year. So he thinks they can do it.
And then I think last question, did Dave Van Horn reach out to talk to you or anything once Casey decided to come back? Was there any type of discussion?
He did
Yeah.
actually. He Coach Thompson called right away,
Mhm.
and stuff. And I think they were devastated for Casey, but also super excited for Casey. And so, but Coach Van Horn did call me probably 3, 4, or 5 days after the draft, and we just kind of talked about what it looked like and how they and obviously getting another year of school under his belt. He's essentially, got all his hours in at the end of this year, and so he'd have to come back for an internship, but that's a huge plus for
Mhm.
him. So, but yeah, Coach Van Horn, Dave Coach, it's Coach Van Horn. He called and he just said how bad he felt for Casey, but how excited they were to have him back
Mhm.
and that they were going to make it all work. And I didn't ask questions as far as all the catching moves they made, that kind of all worked itself out. And he didn't say anything. He just said that Casey was their catcher and he was welcome back 100%.